I get asked this question all the time. Ginger, your advice on how to reunite with my alienating kid sounds great, but I cannot text my kid. I'm completely blocked. I don't know where my kid lives. Or I text and I don't get any response. How do I reconnect? In this live today, I'll not only be answering your questions, but I'll be sharing with you tips on how to connect when you have no or close to no contact. These are some of the hardest cases, but there is hope. I'll be sharing things that have worked for other families. But before we get into it, why on earth should you listen to me? I'm a filmmaker who created the Erasing Family documentary. I've been on Red Table Talk and a lot of the TV shows talking about the pain and danger of parental alienation and how this is an epidemic that needs to be cured. I'm also the child of high conflict divorce, and I decided that it is my mission in life that no other kid suffers like I did from having to choose between two parents. But I had to do more than that. So in the past few years, I've been working with families in group settings and courses and one-on-one as a coach to help them reunite without the courts. And my approach is focus on what works, see what works for other families, and copy it. It's not about understanding the problem, it's about understanding the solution. So thank you all for being here. Please put your questions in the chat and I will do my best to answer them. And at the end, I will give you a little sneak peek on something very exciting I have in store for all of you parents who want to reunite, who need help from me, but also from other ex-alienated children who've reunited. I want you to reunite as quickly as possible, and I want you to be peaceful and joyful while you're doing it. And this is very important because, as I always say, I am not working for you, I'm working for your kids, because your kids need and deserve one healthy parent in their life, and that parent is you because you're here showing up. So let's start off with, how do you connect with your child when you are blocked, when you cannot see them? Tip number one is to recognize that you are the parent and you have a bond that can never be broken. Let me repeat that. Your bond can never be broken. This goes for mothers who carry their babies in their womb. That's a very strong bond. But scientific research shows this bond is just as strong for fathers and dads, even though we as a society sometimes don't accept that. What this means is there is an energetic connection that your kid will always feel with you. So the first step is just to acknowledge that we have this bond and this connection. The second step is for you as a parent to mirror the behavior that you want your child to do with you. So if you want your child to reach out and connect with you, to have a healthy relationship with you, not only should you be trying to reach out and reconnect with them, but you should reach out and reconnect with people who you maybe don't want to talk to, like a family member that maybe you're cut off from, maybe you don't agree with, maybe they've wronged you in some way, because that is the story that your child is telling you. Your child is saying, they're not saying, I'm alienated, I've been manipulated. They're saying, I don't talk to my mom or my dad because they're an awful person. They did this. They hurt me in some way. Maybe they take a little truth and they spin it out of control with the help of others. Maybe they think that you don't want to talk to them. This happens with so many alienated kids who I work with. They will say, well, I don't think my dad wants to talk to me. The dad's over there being like, doing everything possible to talk to that kid. So while I'm doing this and giving this talk, everyone like this video, share this video on your page, send it as a text message, and drop in the chat, how long has it been since you've been blocked, if you want to say that in the chat. If not, just give me a here or amen or something so I know that you're here, that you're engaged, because this is probably going to be one of the most powerful Facebook Lives I've ever done, and it's going to be super quick. So we already went through step number one. Step number one is acknowledging that you have a bond that can never be broken because you are the parent. Step number two. Oh, I'm getting some good comments. I'm going to get to you in a second. Wow, 5 years. I'm so sorry, Katie. But drop in the chat how long it's been since you can't see your kids or you've been fully blocked. Step number two. Mirroring what you want your kids to do. So many parents say, how do I connect with my kids? Are you healthy and healed? Are you healing the own relationships in your family? I don't know how many moms and dads I've worked with to reunite who they will say, oh, I'm also blocked from another kid that they didn't tell me about in the beginning. Oh, I don't talk with my dad. I don't talk with my mom because she's rude and abusive. Your kid also thinks you're rude and abusive. Reach out and heal those relationships. You are showing your kid, I'm reaching out even though it's uncomfortable, even though it's awkward, even though I don't like the other person, because we're family and we should have some sort of relationship. Okay? Step number 3, become a magnet that attracts your kid back. You are becoming a healthy parent. You are learning new skills on communication. You are showing up differently, but what does this also mean? You are going to show what a beautiful life you have on social media. You are going to create a blog where you talk to your kid. You're going to create posts showing all the wonderful things you're doing, and every once in a while you're just going to say, can't wait to share this with my daughter or my son, so they know that you're thinking about them. Now, how many of you are saying, well, I'm fully blocked on social media? 10 years and more. Wow, that's so long. 5 years, 2 years. I'm here taking notes. 4 years oldest son. Carol Aris, I'm here reuniting with my child, looking for good tips to tell other alienated parents. Carol, you're in the right place. Let's talk afterwards. So I can also get tips from you and share your tips down there. Sally, excited to learn from you. 14 more years, 10 years and more, over 23 years. Okay, so it's time to reconnect. Who here wants to spend another day being alienated? Anyone? No. Put on a scale of 1 to 10 right now in the chat. How willing are you to try something new to reconnect? 10 is like, I'm all in, Ginger, I'm willing to try something new, and 1 is, no, don't want to try anything new. Let me see if we can get a few 10s in here. Anyone? So far, no one's commenting. 10, I have a 15, okay, awesome. Anyone else? So there's only 2 people who want to reconnect with their kids. I understand that. I always ask parents when I work with them, why do you want to reconnect with your kids? And for a lot of people, it's like, I'm the mom, I'm the dad. There are some parents who walk away and don't want to reconnect. So we have to have a mission as to why we want to reconnect with that kid. But I digress. So we're going to become a magnet that attracts them back. We're living our best life and we're showing this on social media. Now, this is the part where people always say, Ginger, my kids blocked me on social media and they don't follow me. And that's where I say, okay, boomer, they are following you, but with a fake account. Kids today, if they're under the age of like 30, they know more about social media than the NSA or the FBI, the CIA. They have multiple fake accounts that they're following their teachers with, they're following their bosses with, and they're following you with. Okay? So let's go over these 3 steps. 1, we accept and acknowledge that we have an unbreakable bond with our kids. We can talk to them in our heads. We can send them love whenever we want. We don't have to wait to be reunited. 2, we are going to mirror the behavior we want them to do. That means that we repair the relationships with family members we've lost contact with in our own lives, even if we don't like them, because guess what? They right now don't like you and they have a million excuses why not to reach out. Got that? So if you say, I don't talk to my mom because she's abusive, your daughter is saying the same thing about you. You go talk to your mom, setting limits and appropriate boundaries. 3, we're going to become a magnet that attracts them back. We're putting these messages out on social media every once in a while, mentioning our kid that we can't wait to share this with them. We're not sharing messages about how we're alienated, how awful it is. No, we're sending positive things that attract them back. And I worked with a mom whose 2 adult daughters blocked her. Her icon on Instagram was parental alienation as child abuse. Together we changed that to just have her name and her face, and she started posting pictures about the farm. I started actually liking them and be like, oh my God, the chickens are so cute. Both of her daughters reached out to her. One even said, I'll do therapy with you, Mom. Her daughters were watching. They didn't want to be told that they were victims of abuse and alienation. They wanted a loving mom to show up in their lives. So simple yet so powerful. And also it means you don't have to wait to be reunited to be happy. You can start being happy now, even by 1% more each day, and that's going to draw your kids back. Exciting stuff. Step number 4. So we went through step number 1. I accept I am internally connected to my child, and I can talk to them in my head anytime I want, and they pick up on my energy. 2, I'm going to be a mirror of what I want my kids to do. I'm going to reconnect and heal all the relationships in my life, especially with my family. 3, I'm going to live my best life, become a magnet that attracts them back. I'm going to post about this on social media in a way that attracts them back. Step 4, I'm going to start reaching out to everybody in my life, making an Excel, one by one, who I may have in common with my child, and seeing what information they can give me. I was working with a mom, she's like, I don't have their social media. She did this exercise. She made a list of everybody she knew that they had in common, and within a day she got their social media accounts. And all these people were saying they were willing to help her. But for 10 years she never asked, she never tried. Learn from this mom and start doing this today. Step number 5, and this is a beautiful step. We are going to be ready for when they show up, healed when they show up, and expect that they show up. We are going to look for the ways to reach out instead of focusing on the ways that we can't. What parents say is, I can't, I'm blocked, I'm this. Instead of focusing on the doors that are closed, and there might be 10 doors that are closed, let's focus on the one door that might be a crack open. So, as I promised at the end of the live, before I take these questions, I've posted in the description of this chat. I want you to like this video, share this video. It really helps us reach other alienated parents and connect with other kids. DM us help if you want more information, and we'll get back to you probably as early as tomorrow with resources. I am starting a group coaching program next week that will combine lessons with coaching with me. So you're in a group setting, but I'm coaching you. But here's the exciting part. I have found some other coaches who are also ex-alienated children who have healed, and they're going to be there to answer your questions. If you're interested in that, just type in interested in the chat or DM us and we'll send you more information. So let's start answering some of these beautiful questions for you. Jason Murphy, we reconnected, but her mother found out and destroyed that connection again. I'm so sorry, Jason. Sometimes it's important to keep these connections in secret and just try again. This was the practice run. Now that you have practice, you can hit this out of the park. See what else? Interested, awesome. Kim Lutnick Ayers, but I've been a loving mom all along. I love that, Kim. How can you bring that mom energy into your life now without your child or children present? Can you be a volunteer? Can you cook their favorite food? Can you get in synchronicity with your kids? So this is not just about saying, I am a loving mom. This is about being that loving mom even when your kids aren't there. That is the challenge in front of you. Susan Mayo, I want my kid to have a healthy parent in her life. I've been working on myself to be ready. Amen. Susan, what do you need to work on even more? And have you reached out for help? Have you joined our roadmap program? How can we help you? Okay, looking at some more questions. Sarah Landerman had a restraining order, was dropped as long as I agreed to have no contact with my daughter. So you basically have a de facto restraining order. She's 18 in January. She's so brainwashed. She was going to testify against me. Sad. So this is an extreme case, Sarah. There's too much for me to get into on this chat, but be ready for her to show up. Focus on how you will be when she shows up. Focus on what you can do to help her lessen the brainwashing bit by bit, even if that's only energetically. Who do you know in common that you can develop a relationship with, so maybe that person in a year or two says, hey, you know what, your mom Sarah, she's a pretty cool chick, you should get in touch with your mom. Who can you leverage? New comment. Michael Park, what to do when showing up did not work. I showed up and he had me removed by the paintball field owner. I heard from the therapist that he won't see anymore, that he had a huge anxiety attack when I showed up. So in my new coaching program, I have a whole class on viewing alienation as phobia. So phobia is a reaction that is out of proportion to the fear we have for an object. So arachnophobia, fear of spiders. We see a spider and we freak out, even though spiders are our friends because they kill mosquitoes, right? So even though you are the loving parent, your child is freaking out. So we need to do a type of aversion therapy where we get your child used to you again. We need to follow the steps carefully so they don't have panic attacks and freak out, but it's totally possible, Michael. See what else? Sarah, pretty consistent. Have you found some social media platforms are more effective than others for reaching 20-somethings? Yes, Sally. Instagram is where it's at. TikTok is where it's at. I have some parents who communicate their kids with Xbox, which is a gaming app, because the other parent doesn't know about it. So you have to find where your kids are at, and this is why having a circle of friends and acquaintances who are willing to do this research for you if you're blocked is so important. Now, here's another trick. Don't go to these friends saying, help me reunite. They might say, I don't want to get involved. Instead, develop a relationship with them later on. Jeff Comier, I have no contact with my 13, 15-year-old. It's been 2 years. I'm so sorry, Jeff. My heart breaks. Emails and texts going unanswered. The other parent has refused counseling. Now what? So Jeff, number one, we change the other parent. We change the dynamic by changing how we react to the parent. You are going to need a lot of help to move through this. Message me, message the page, and I can give you resources on how I work with parents. Because the idea of these chats, I'm giving you some basic tips that will work for everybody. But you cannot walk through this dark forest by yourself. You need accountability, you need a new mindset, you need new skills, and you need new strategy. So I want everybody to say, if you're interested, to reach out to me about how I work. My programs are designed to be effective, super affordable and fast, and to make you feel better while you're doing it, okay? So what you need to do, Jeff, is for your kids to reach out to you, we need to get the alienation to stop. So when your kids are under 18 under the control of the alienator, the first step is getting the alienation to stop or decrease, which is completely possible because your ex might be borderline narcissistic, blah, blah, blah. They probably are. I believe it. I see it. That's bad, but what's also good is that these crazy people are also predictable, and they are also hurt people who probably went through this as a kid, who are unhealed, who are hurting again. We can predict their behavior, and by changing how we show up, we can change the way we show up, but they'll never admit that they're wrong. I just worked with a dad, couldn't see his teenage kids, totally blocked, and then one day after working with me for a while, his 2 teenage sons reached out to him and said, Dad, we want to go to dinner, and at dinner, they said, Dad, we want to start having overnight visits again. Guess what the mom said? It was my idea. I wanted them to see you. And he was so mad because he's like, this woman has done so much to destroy my relationship. She's alienated me, the court costs, blah, blah, blah. And I said, take the win, go see your kids. So to wrap up the 5 steps, they are 1, accepting that we have an energetic connection with our kids that cannot be broken and we can talk them in our head. 2, we mirror the behavior that we want them to do. This means that we heal our relationships with people in our family that maybe we don't want to talk to. Step 3, we post our wonderful happy life on social media, occasionally mentioning them because they are following us even though they've blocked us. 4, we are going to talk to other people who maybe we have in common. We're going to make a list and see if we can build some alliances, but we're not going to go ask them to help us at first. We're going to make sure we have healthy relationships. And step 5, which I'm forgetting a little, but it's going to come back to me. We do this over and over again, and we try that, and we're prepared for when they come back, and we get help when we need it. DM me, DM the Erasing Family page. If you left a comment, interested, we'll be in touch with you between today and tomorrow with how to join our new program. It's group coaching with me and other ex-alienated kids, plus all of these great lessons on what to do. And I have this new theory in alienation, which is, it's all about aversion therapy. Your kids have a phobia of you, so we need to treat this like aversion therapy. But do not walk this path on your own. Surround yourself by people who've done it before. Copy their successes and copy what works. Don't focus on the problem. Don't focus on this doesn't work, this doesn't work. Focus on the one thing that works. Everyone I work with who's reunited says this won't work for me. I had a parent who didn't want to work with me for a month and was yelling at me, and I was like, Ginger, your methods are working. The alienation is calming down. I'm beginning to have contact with my kids. They're sending me birthday messages. But he's like, at first, everyone's like, these are the stupidest methods ever. They might be stupid, but they work. Do what works. Sending you lots of love. DM, please like and share this video. It really helps. Remember, we have on reversingparentalalienation.com, we have some great free trainings. We have group coaching. We have coaching with me. And if you want to watch the Erasing Family video, it's a documentary. It's 90 minutes long, all about reuniting in kids. It's free to watch on YouTube, and go to erasingfamily.org for some great advice and resources. I have a few more comments. Let me see if I can get to them. Really connect and interested. I love this. One last thing. Won't the kids think I don't care if they see my happy life, think I'm not sad? No one wants to be with the sad person. Oh, I'm sad, I can't see my kids. You know why? They're with the alienator. The alienator is happy. The alienator is powerful. The alienator is doing fun stuff. And you alienated parents want to be sad and want to be martyrs. Kids are attracted to power. They're attracted to happiness. Step back into your power. Allow yourself to be happy. But that's why I said on the post, say, thinking of you, can't wait to share this with you so that you're not forgetting them. I hope that resonates with you, Kim. And if I'm a little tough with you, it's because I'm a kid and I want you to be with your kids because your kids need you. You might be sad, you might be angry, you might say, Ginger, you are mean. I want you to be with your kid because I do this for your kid. Your kid needs a healthy parent. Your kids need the end of this generational trauma. So if you're with me, we will be back next week, same time, same place. Share and like this video, get in touch, and let's make this the last generation that ends. Be happy. Carol says it. Carol reunited. Be happy. Kids want you happy, not sad. Now, of course, if they say, were you sad when you couldn't see me? Of course, be honest and say, yes, I was sad, but they want to be with the happy parent. And that parent is you, because your happiness comes from being a good person, not from being a motherfucking alienator. Peace out, yo. Bye.